How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about PROG stock. Before I get started, we had quite the pullback inside of the market, and you know for a fact that this killed a lot of momentum in PROG stock, and it's part of the reasons why we had a strong pullback. We saw it close around $2.72, so I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into tomorrow. There's many ways you can play this, and from the numbers that we have gone over, traders have been taking advantage of this. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for PROG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.72, being down 13.10%. On the low, it tested $2.70, and then on the high, testing $3.23. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 38.585 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 74.077 million shares. So we did have well below the average in regards to volume, and on top of that, we had a big time pullback inside of the market. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 42.33. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 100-day. We are below the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So as far as the price action is concerned, we ended up closing at an area of support that we've seen in the past all the way back here in October the 21st. And these are one of the areas that I actually pointed out in regards to the worst case scenario, and look what happened. We ended up having the worst case scenario. So from what we are seeing right now, it could pull back even more. So the markets do continue to be choppy, then we could see it getting down all the way to $2.50. I know many of you will be like, no, that is not possible, but we have to understand PROG moves alongside with the market. So if the market is going to be pulling back, then there's a good chance it's going to be pulling back. Now, as far as for the bullish case scenario here, you'd want to see PROG come back to gain momentum right here at this $3 level. We already know this has been an area of support, and of course, this is why I'd expect if it was able to get here, then we can go back to reaching those highs where we tested on today around $3.23 and then look for a further move up from there. So let's see how PROG performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for PROG. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 53.12%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 15.28 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 550,000, updated just now, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 43.80%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 29th, it was at 52.61. And then for the close of the 30th, we have 53.12. So it went up a little bit, but what this tells us right away, there's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock, but it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So this is why a play like this would thrive on volume. So it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening, but continue to keep this one on close watch. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for PROG. So we could see here on the inflow, it was at 22.27, and then on the outflow, it's at 25.42. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, on the large, it was 0.76. On the medium, it was 14.12. And then then on the small, it was 7.39. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0.98. On the medium, it was 16.95. And then on the small, it was 7.49. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today it being a negative outflow of 223.86. Now, when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying, but it was still fairly close. It was only 7.39 million versus 7.49 million. Then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, but still a lot of demand for PROG shares. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, we could see we had more selling than we had buying, and this could potentially represent institutions. But not a huge difference, but it was still leaning over to the outflow side. No surprises why we had an outflow day. Now when we take a look at the turnover ratios at 24.09. No surprises there considering the conditions that we had inside of the market. There was going to be a lot of selling pressure, but one thing that we did see, there was demand. There were people who were purchasing shares and taking advantage of the dip. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for PROG stock, here's a few things you're going to want to consider. In regards to the bearish case scenario, if the market continues to be weak, we could see a pullback to around $2.50. If the market says that it wants to be strong, then I'm going to be looking for some price action going towards $3. We did close the day at $2.72. So now $3 becomes that psychological area. So we need to have that volume and that buying pressure coming into the stock. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. And it's part of the reasons why you want to keep this on your radar. I also want to address another point from messages that I normally get. So Dre, are you bullish on PROG? Are you bearish on PROG? At the end of the day, I'm a trader. I like playing in both directions. I know for investors, you're looking for the stock to go up. As a trader, I look at the technical aspect of the play, and then I got to come up with a strategy that is right for me and which I feel I'll be the most correct on so I can take advantage of that price action. So if you're going to be investing, as far as what you're seeing with these current prices, this is why I always emphasize, know what your exit price is going to be. And if you've done your homework and if you've done your due diligence, when you start seeing dips like these, then of course you may be able to see this as an opportunity, adding in these areas, or even if it pulls back even more. For myself, I would not put a lot of cash into these short squeeze type of plays or these speculative kind of plays. I rather have my cash working in with bigger cap stocks like we have Apple, like we have Facebook. These are reputable companies with proven businesses. So this is why I emphasize you have to trade stocks and have a strategy that works well for you. So that pretty much sums up my analysis for this video, and let's see how PROG stock performs going into tomorrow. I'll be talking to you guys soon.